To point out the obvious to the species I share DNA with. If countries that say they're against genocide by Netanyahu's government say we will get together to offer this aid, this humanitarian aid to these Palestinians, if Israel agrees to let this plan of aid in. I don't think you get the concept of what genocide is, and if you do, then of course you're complicit by acting in these ways, right? The other thing is if IDF soldiers are easily convinced that Hamas terrorists, because they are IDF terrorists as well, and they might be Hamas non-terrorists as well, right? If they are brainwashed to believe that there's always children as shields in front of a Hamas terrorist, and that's how they justify doing it, whether they prove later or not that when they bomb the kids anyways, there was or was not an Hamas terrorist, and they don't allow that to be verified outside of their own brainwashing, like let's say by independent international journalists, then again, the fact that you get the government as a Jewish nation, Israel, that you deserve shows that you are not well, you are ill, and you need to talk about this. It's been going on almost 2 years. So putting Netanyahu in jail, and helping to put him there, if you're supposedly a country that is against genocide and that also is for the rule of law internationally, then you can't just put Netanyahu in jail. You have to put a high percentage of IDF soldiers in there, and that means you have to start arming a country that is that unwell. Again, it's so ridiculous to listen to my species either at the best dressed fancy buildings of the UN or just, in a general conversation you might get on the street or in your neighborhood. The species I share DNA with is unwell. Unwell, my theory explains what caused it, and then I have 3 recommendations for how to get over it. And that's where my hope is. These 3 recommendations would be applied. Now, of course, I don't see signs of this, including by who a CBC invites or doesn't invite, and what they ask or don't ask, and what they believe already is there. They believe, CBC, that critical thinking is already part of our culture. It's really ridiculous, and it's sad. So please, folks, just to be honest with yourselves, you've allowed not just powerful people with money or with followers or with religious organizations or in politics to become powerful as they are uncaring of others and not that bright, and definitely not culture affairs or public servants or systems thinkers, is you believe that, okay, well, if that one would go away, the world would be a better place, or that one or that one. It's really like your entire elites are issues, right? All of the problems, let's say in the United States, that relate to, let's say, homelessness, drug addiction, inequality, do you know that instead of tariffs, you just have to get the money out of your own elites? And that's, the same kind of argument in most places around the world. The money is not like flushed down the toilet. It exists in the ownership and power of, assets of your elites. Get it from there and solve your own problems.